So apparently this is a thing. Hello everybody, especially my lit heads, and I can't believe I'm going to be talking about this, but long story short, I remember a few months ago there was this rumor going around about this supposed Mario game coming out for the Switch that was going to have the Rabbids in it, and it was going to be an RPG. I just brushed this off as a rumor, nothing more, and I watched Game Explain talk about this for the sake of entertainment, and that was it. I didn't take this seriously. And yet, now, as of yesterday, I found this. So apparently, I guess this is a real thing, and we're gonna have a Mario Rabbids RPG. And why the Rabbids? Of all the characters that you would think should cross over with Mario on an adventure, you think it'd be Sonic? Because, this is something that people have been wanting for a long time. Not just Mario and Sonic at the freaking Olympics, but, them actually doing something together. Not freaking sports, but anyway. This is weird. Like, Mario has an arm cannon gun, and the Rabbids are there, and they're dressing up as the Mario characters. It's weird. As for me and how I feel about it, well, see, here's the thing. Unlike most people, I actually didn't really mind the Rabbids. I actually liked them a lot back when they were a popular thing, or they were cool, whatever. And a lot of people compare them to the Minions, and I disagree. See, the Rabbids at least had a goal. They weren't just these little followers who wanted to have a master like the Minions, apparently. The Rabbids would go out and try to go accomplish whatever they want to do, and they would succeed. The whole Rayman Raving Rabbids games are about the Rabbids taking over the world. They take over Rayman's world, and then they take over the real world, our reality, with Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, and the whole point of that game is green screen. That's why they can just CG the little bunnies into the levels with green screen to make it look like they're really here in famous, well-known, countries and crap like that in our world. And then I think the last Rayman Raving Rabbids game, which is when they dropped the Rayman name and just made it Rabbids. The Rabbids game was Rabbids Go Home when they go to the moon. So apparently they're actually aliens from the moon that came over to take over the world. They did what they had to do, and they're like, you know what? Okay, let's go back home. We did, our mission, we accomplished our goal, so that's it, we're done. And another thing that I like about the Rabbids is they have this weird berserker crazy mode where their eyes turn red and they start screaming, and in this state they become more violent and they want to smack you and bash your face with a plunger. So yeah, it's weird, it's stupid, it's silly, but I liked how they had this sort of destructive tendency to them. They liked breaking things, and they liked trying to take over the world. They liked trying to take over places. And they can take over the world. They can invent their own technology, because they do have stuff besides plungers. They do actually have machines and crap, yet they can't comprehend how to use a feather duster. So that was, a funny thing about them. They have this intelligence to them, but then at the same time they don't. They're kind of like this weird, dumb character that has strokes of brilliance to them. So that's why I like them. I didn't consider them to be that bad compared to some of the Minions. I consider them to be different from the Minions. Yeah, there are some similarities, but they're different. Now, for them being with Mario, that's just, I don't know, kind of weird, because the Rabbids also have more crude humor than Mario. The most you see in Mario is characters being, I don't know, like in Mario Party when you're squished and you turn flat like a pancake, and then your character has the invincibility frames and they pop up being normal again. But with the Raving Rabbids, it would be a bit more violent. I remember a minigame where you could get a hammer and then bash a rabbit on the head over and over and over and over and over, and make this giant cartoon bump on their head, and the more you hit them, the higher the bump would get. Or there's an entire minigame where, I kid you not, you drown the Rabbids. They come after you with little scuba diving gear, and you squirt carrot juice into the scuba diver mask, and then you see them gargling, trying to breathe, and then they pass out. So you are, I mean, yeah, it's a little kid game, so we're not going to make it that obvious, but at the same time, you know, yeah, you actually drown a rabbit in carrot juice, and they suffocate on the juice. So the Rabbids have always had a more crude sense of humor, and there's one other mini game where they're using the bathroom, and you have to keep smashing the door shut in the outhouses they're in, because if you don't, and then they spot that you're watching them, they'll smash your face with a plunger. So a mini game dedicated to them being in the bathroom, and you have to like watch them use the bathroom. So yeah, the Rabbids humor is way more, I don't know, for lack of a better word, dirty, morbid. You know, you have games where you're essentially killing a cartoon animal, beating it, you're hurting it, you're drowning it, you're suffocating it. So, you know, in that sense, the humor for Rabbids is way more violent than Mario. So seeing the two kind of come together is kind of weird. Like, how are they going to handle the Rabbids style of slapstick? That's actually pretty violent, pretty intense for a kid game, I would say. And, you know, Mario isn't. You know, so like, how are you going to make the two work? I really don't know. I really don't see the point of Rabbids being there. It's just kind of weird. It's just like, you know, here's Mario and you know, his friends or whatever, and then here's the Rabbids dressed up as them. Like, what's the point? Why are they dressed up as the Mario characters? Is that going to give them, I don't know, better stats or something? Like, what's the point? I really don't see the point of them just randomly dressing up as, you know, the Mario characters. What I think would be a better idea, and more along with the Rabbids character, is them invade the Mushroom Kingdom, and then they like try to take over the kingdom. You know, that's more of the Rabbids. That's more their thing. They like to invade and take over places and take over the world. So if anything, I can see them even maybe working alongside Bowser, and then they like, I don't know, start bashing Bowser in the face with plungers, and they start like trying to overthrow the Koopa Kingdom, and then they succeed and take over the Koopa Kingdom, and then they go and take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, to me, that would be more fitting for Mario and the Rabbids to cross over. Now, the Rabbids are literally invading the kingdom and trying to take over. That's more like their thing. I think that would make more sense. But instead, they're working together, apparently, so that I don't really get what's going on here. I don't get what's the point. But I guess this is a real thing. You know, there's being artwork made for it, and people are saying that apparently it was even made by Ubisoft, so I guess it's legit. I guess we're gonna have a freaking Rabbids Rayman, well, not Rayman, Rabbids Mario crossover. It's weird. I really don't see how they're going to make this work, because again, you know, the violence with the Rabbids and the violence of Mario is completely different. So they would have to either go the Rabbids route and make Mario a bit more violent, which I think they are to an extent. That's why we got the arm cannons, you know, but are they going to go that really hardcore slapstick route where they start, you know, bashing the Rabbids on the head, or, you know, trying to drown them with carrot juice and, you know, stuff like that? Like, how intense is the violence really going to get? Because that's a big core aspect of the Rabbids, that they're really, really violent. You know, again, for you know, a kid's game, you know, it is pretty violent. I think there's one mini game I remember where it's almost like you're a neurosurgeon, because half of the brain, half of the bunny's head is missing, and you see the brain. And the brain is done in a very, very like hyper-realistic way, and the eyeballs are very hyper-realistic, where you start touching and poking parts of the brain, the eyeballs start to bulge and pop, and when they pop out, like in that cartoon style, you see little, you know, veins, and the eyes look real. So, you know, in that sense, the Rabbids have a bit of a darker tone to their slapstick, a bit of a darker style to their humor. A bit, not by much, but, you know, a bit. So I can't imagine Mario being a neurosurgeon and cuts part of the bunny's head off and you start touching their brains. Like, I can't see that with Mario. So how are you going to balance the Rabbids more violent, more slightly cartoony graphic humor. With Mario, I don't see how it's gonna work. So they would then have to then go the Mario route, tone down the Rabbids and make them not as violent. But then, if you go that route, what's the point of them being there? You're kind of downgrading the character. So how is it going to work? I don't know. I'm still baffled this even exists. I find it weird that this even exists, but it does. So what are they going to do with the humor? I don't know. What's the RPG mechanics going to be like? I really don't know. Other than the obvious, the characters level up and your stats improve and your health improves and maybe you can unlock better weapons and crap like that, like in Kingdom Hearts and other RPGs. In that sense, yeah, I'm guessing we're going to have that, but aside from that, what are we going to do? I really don't know. Are they going to have more levels than Mario? Like the typical Mario formula? I would say so. I remember hearing, I think it was from Game Explain, that it's expected to be at least a 20-hour plus long game. So if we're going to go that route, then we have to have more than just the Mario levels, and I hope so. I'd like to have some original levels that are more catered to the Rabbids, so it's not just Mario again. The Mario format with the levels gets kind of boring, and that's what I liked about Paper Mario, that the levels would be completely different and new, and you'd be in a brand new location in Paper Mario. But Paper Mario is pretty much dead, so oh well, but rest in peace, nothing we can really do about that. But yeah, so I would like new locations specifically for the Rabbids, change up the Mario formula a bit, maybe hopefully even scrap that completely and make us in a brand new location. That would be really nice. But I don't see them doing that thanks to Shigeru Miyamoto basically killing the Paper Mario series and trying to make everything the same. But anyway, this exists. This is weird, and part of me kind of likes it because I still sort of kind of like the Rabbids. I don't play the games anymore. They got boring. I sold them all. But as a character, I've always found them kind of funny. How, unlike most cartoon villains, they actually do succeed and they do take over the world. So, how is that going to work with Mario? How are they going to now be allies instead of, bunny alien villains? I don't know, but, that's what they're doing. But anyway, this is Lit and Fire going away. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.